Hello, Minecraftians, and welcome to another Realm News. I am your host, the Dark Lord, the one who puts the real in Realm and expands your mind one block at a time. And today I have the Sun King back on Realm News, my brother, Sam Howard, and the artist of Realm News. Welcome back to the show, Sam.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to
Heck
talk
yeah,
to all
man.
the fellow Minecraftians.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I wanted to bring you back on the show because I think people are probably sick of me just coming up with random topics and just talking. So I'm glad to have you back and have some company back in the realm. Um, we've been up to some major stuff. I've been nonstop building in my kingdom. And I've recently, just to tell the listeners, helped you undergo a big civic project in your realm. I know all about it, but would you like to kind of tell the audience what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody that listened to our previous episodes might have caught that I had a major gold problem. So I wasn't really able to expand my rails the way I wanted to. Um, that's recently been alleviated because I finally found a Badlands biome that was very far away from my capital of Fargo.
Far, very far.
Far away, thousands of blocks.
Like 2 days, like Minecraft days or longer.
Should right below 2 full days, but from
God,
end to end of my kingdom. But yeah, so I found this Badlands biome right next to a desert biome with two or three desert temples. Um,
yeah,
but
you have a. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, you're good. Yeah, we established a mine there that's producing
In the
very well
Badlands.
in the Badlands
Let,
biome.
let me explain to them. It's right. They can join each other, right? The that desert biome with the village and in that Badlands, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's a kind of a swath of Badlands running through two desert biomes. One has a natural village that's really cool.
Yeah, I
And
love that village.
oh
I
yeah.
actually there's some pictures of I think you on a camel in that village I have on Twitter
Oh,
or
excellent.
X, I should say.
Oh yeah, X now. Um, yeah, no, it's very cool. It's got a desert clerics church that's really cool. It's like open air. Um, a beautiful little village. And so we established a mine a little further away from that in the Badlands,
Yeah, not
called,
far at all.
no, not far at all, but called Tent City. Um,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
I
we
forgot.
established a yeah, we established a mine there that's been producing gold very well. So got a lot of gold from that, and then obviously the next problem runs into how do I get the gold back to Farthia when it's a 2 day boat ride. You have to go over land and break your boat and run across land several times.
It's a
Um,
logistical nightmare.
it was a logistical nightmare. Um, so we finally just settled in and almost wiped out all of my iron stores just to build this rail.
All of it.
Um,
You were like out of iron.
yeah, I
Yeah,
only had like
that
three
was
or
a
four blocks.
crazy project.
It was
You,
a huge project. It took several real days for me to have enough time to get on and actually complete it, but completed I did. So, and with your help, I mean,
we spent hours that one day when you came down and visited, and we were building that for like hours.
hours. We have a good rhythm though, where I'll lay out the cobblestones 34 blocks apart and set down a redstone torch for the powered rail. And then you would sort of ferry resources back and forth between depots so we could have them closer to the actual build site or
Yeah, our systems kind of evolved over the year, with when it or over the I guess several months when it comes to building rails.
oh yeah, we've got it down pat now.
Yeah, we can throw down rails fast.
Yeah,
We're Yeah, like the Sun King was saying, this last time when we were constructing this, we started at the Badlands region of in his world. That's why I recommended, because that's where the gold is.
Yeah.
And kind of my method to when I go to about rail building and what we put into effect here in his world for this particular rail was um, go mine for gold, start at the Badlands because you need the gold for the power rails. That's what you're lacking is the gold, and your
Exactly.
iron was all the way closer to your capital, which
Yes.
was days away. You have to cross a few oceans,
Yep.
run across some land masses to get to the Badlands. It, like we said, a logistical nightmare. So start at the Badlands, mine the gold, bring a bunch of iron with you to the Badlands first,
Yep.
mine for gold, and keep all the blocks as you mine because you need those blocks to lay down the rail upon.
Oh, absolutely. And
I just wanted to explain that. Sorry.
no, that's yeah. And a little tip for all the Minecraftings: build a blast furnace. That I didn't know, but it cuts down producing those gold bars like much faster.
Yes, I think it cuts it in half from 10 seconds to 5 seconds.
Yeah, that saved us so much time doing that. And then yeah, like I said, it was just me laying out the cobblestones and sort of counting out where the powered rails will go, and then you would come in behind and lay the track.
Yeah, and talk about that, like how you measure that, because I do it a little bit different. Like I'll kind of separate out my the blocks that the tracks lay out, like because I think power rails will, if you're going perfectly flat horizontal, will carry or push the minecart with you in it up to, I think you can go up to 36 blocks, but we do it every 34, and then we'll place a power rail just
Yep.
for safe measures.
34 to be safe. Yeah.
Yeah, just to be safe, because we want to keep full momentum going, and it's easy to forget or miscount every once in a while.
Yeah,
So
which there's a few spots where there's a little dip in speed, but it's not significant. Just
no,
because
you never
I
lose
don't,
it.
yeah, well, I don't prepare my stacks like you do. I just count them out as I go. Um, which works. I mean, either way, I think is viable. But
Yeah, I'll divide mine out by 34 rails or 34 blocks, and then
yeah,
because I don't like to count.
no, and that might be smarter, honestly, just so you can just run and go. But and honestly, we would have gotten it done so much quicker if we didn't have phantoms coming after us. If you skip a few nights sleep, so we
Yeah,
weren't
and I
able
didn't
to.
know that until Michael TBH told me all about that. I never realized that phantoms came out only from lack of sleep.
Yeah, which I kind of tested a little bit just by staying up in my iron prison to get my iron stores back up. And then I rode the rail back out, and I was plagued by 4 or 5 phantoms. It was a
You're
nightmare.
ravaged by them.
Oh yeah, they would not leave me alone. But
They'll kill you easy too if they hit you directly.
and if you're not paying attention, because if you hop on a rail ride, especially our rails, you can have 10 minutes of go
Exposure.
do dishes. Yeah, go do dishes or whatever, and you're not paying attention, you'll die.
And that's horrible, dying out in the middle of nowhere on a rail, because our rails are up in the air. We didn't mention that to the listeners. Like we always build. I know some people online, or from who I've talked to on Reddit, also will lay their tracks literally on the land. We
Oof.
don't do that. Do you want to explain why we don't do that, Sam?
Yeah, you don't want to get shot at by skeletons or
No.
have a creeper ahead of you that can actually get close enough next to you to blow up the rail. That would be terrible. So we always go like 75 up, I think, is our rule of thumb.
I think yours was even higher.
No, I think this one is
Was it?
exactly 75.
I'm thinking my most current one. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're
Mine
good.
is untypically higher.
It's just pick a height. I mean, that's decently high in the air that you won't get attacked by monsters on the ground.
Or by arrows.
Yeah, but don't fluctuate because then you're wasting powered rails to get over those hills that you build in the rail.
Yeah, I'd say 75 to 80 is pretty safe.
Yeah, I think you're safe there.
So you
But
hit
even
mountains,
then,
but
yeah, even then I would run into some mountains. And what I do, that I think is different than what we've done in the past is you're typically traveling two numbers to get to the coordinates that you need to connect your rail.
mhm.
I like to go one way and then look at the landscape and then travel that other number so I can sort of go around things if needed, but sort of reserve one of the numbers that you're traveling to kind of give yourself a little leeway if you run into like anything like a hill or a mountain, you can kind of go
Yes.
around it and maintain that height. But even then, there's just no way if you're traveling this long of a distance that you can predict what the terrain is. So even I have to go through a mountain at some point.
If
To
you
get
if you're
rail.
going vast distances, there's no way. I mean, obviously it's always smart to scout ahead, but if you're going days, like over
Sure.
you can't scout that far ahead through
Yeah,
that path.
if you want to spend the time to scout ahead, I know
Elytra, I suppose,
Elytra might be the way to go.
but you wouldn't need a rail.
Yeah, but rails are fun. So, and
Rails are fun.
it's a safe way to travel for you or like if you have a guest on. Um, so yeah, to avoid the phantoms, we would set up depots where we could sleep, and then we would move resources from, in this instance, the Badlands mine, Tent City. We set up a depot over the ocean where we could sleep, set up chests, put cobblestones and rails and all that, and then you
That was
would
a
be
massive
doing.
undertaking.
Oh, it was massive. We had 3 depots along that rail.
Yeah,
Probably
but
needed 4, but I just powered through at the end, and just worked overnight. Uh, and you could spend one night out and then the next day, and then you start getting phantoms then. So I just anticipated that full day, and then I got it finished.
well, it took me like sometimes multiple, like 2 days to just usher all the resources and build the next depot ahead. And by the time I had it built, we had to build another one because you already had the track and the blocks and everything laid out. It was like I was just trying to play catch up the entire time.
Yeah, at one
Like
point you were just running resources, which is a huge help.
it is a huge help, but we never had that issue before. That's why we had to change it up because when we were in my world, going from Sun Valley to Seatown, which was like 2,500 block or maybe 3,000, that was yeah, still an undertaking, our first huge one, but we didn't have to tote so many resources as we did here. Like just like you stated at the beginning of this episode, we drained all your iron reserves. We had to
Almost all of them. Yeah.
almost all of it, which was a lot of iron. And then we had to smelt some from what we collected. We had to mine resources on the way.
Yeah.
In these
Um,
depots. Like it was a massive undertaking.
yeah, massive. And since then, I've spent a little time, or well, a lot of time in the iron prison and got my resources back up. So we're back on full production in Farthia.
Those iron farms are amazing. I actually just recently talked to somebody on Twitter who listens to the show, and they were telling me that they don't use iron farms, but they plan on doing an umbrella system, and they plan on just mining all the iron themselves.
Oof. If you have access to villagers, save yourself the trouble.
No, I think they just don't like probably the forced labor.
I could see that. I can understand that from an
I
RP
mean,
perspective. Yeah,
it is a sad farm. It
it
really
is.
is.
It is. But that's why we make them fishermen because they really don't have much to offer.
That's,
uh, but yeah,
they don't trade that. They don't trade much.
no, they don't trade much. But altogether, end to end, now that my empire is connected, it's 19 minutes and 32 seconds real world time to get from one end to the other.
Almost 20
Badlands.
minutes. That is that's a proud achievement. That's
Oh,
crazy. That beats mine by almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, you'll catch up easy enough. But
Yeah, once I connect my Badlands to the other major rail, yeah, I'm.
yeah,
We're going to have a rail war going.
we already do.
Yeah, we
but
do. I'm going to try. I got to get to like 25 minutes. That's
but
like my next goal.
it's more of a cold war. We help each other out.
It is a Cold War. Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
But you
just
needed that gold. Like everyone, if you're into rails, you have to have a gold supply, which we don't have gold farms. I know that would probably be smart, but I have not wanted to undergo that. Like that's a massive undertaking to build these in the Nether. I
dude,
personally loathe going into the Nether. It's
that's why I haven't been yet. I've had a friend on for at least one session, and we kind of
yeah, I
dipped
forgot
our
about that.
yeah we dipped our toe into the Nether. I was a fool. I built it in my capital proper. When we popped through, we were literally on a one block ledge, and then below that was just a sheer drop into lava, and then on the other side was just a piglin attack immediately. So I hopped back through the Nether portal, and zombie piglins popped up in my capital. Two
You
of
are
them.
so lucky.
Yeah, but I was lucky enough to spot them, take them out before any of my villagers got infected, and avoided
You
the zombie plague.
you're so lucky. I was shocked that your entire capital was didn't become a zombie apocalypse.
It would have been bad because they're not sectioned off anymore. It's free roaming. So
Mine are.
yours are, and yeah, and yours are very,
Mine have quadrants. I
yeah,
could
quadrant
just close
distant.
that off.
Yep.
Yours is perfect for a zombie outbreak.
Oh yeah, very lucky to avoid it. So I set up another Nether gate way further away near the Iron Prison. Um, and yeah, it's going to be much easier to manage when I finally do get in there because I want blaze rods and I want blaze powder.
Yeah, you definitely need to get that stuff and get your kingdom caught up in the modern times.
Yeah, I need all the technology, and then yeah, I guess next step is a gold farm for us. But still, what a huge pain. And I'm
Yeah.
interested in starting a pillager farm. I have pillager outposts that aren't a pain now, and especially with that latest update, with the ominous,
Ominous
yeah, uh, they're not a
events.
huge pain. And if you have full enchanted iron armor and a shield, you can wipe out a pillager outpost no problem.
But I guess, bro, I'm not too familiar with this, but I guess pillager farms aren't that great since the ominous events have been put into the game. I don't have one myself, one of these
Oh,
farms, so
really?
I don't know, but it broke a lot of people's farms. They can still yield, but I guess it's not as lucrative as it once was. That's what I've read. I haven't really delved into it.
Yeah, that's good to know. I'd still be interested in creating one. Maybe I'll wait for some craftier Minecraftians to play with the new update and figure out a more efficient farm before I delve into that side. But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really see a need for pillager farms yet for me personally.
well, I like the idea of being able to get crossbows and things without having to spend resources. Um,
You could do that at the piglin farm.
oof, that's true too.
Knock
Yeah,
out the gold and get crossbows.
but piglins drop gold nuggets, don't they?
That I'm not quite sure. I know that I covered this in the piglins episode. That's um and I think 50% of them carry at least some gold item which you could smelt down to a nugget.
That's good.
So I guess if they're pouring out of the sky or however some of these people set it up,
Yeah, I mean,
I guess you'll just have thousands of gold items and you could just smelt that stuff down and get gold and it would be easier than mining for it all the time. But I have had no problems in the Badlands for gold.
yeah, Badlands is the way to go, folks. If you can seek out that Badlands realm,
I love it.
32 down is the way to go.
It is. Then go find a Badlands and there's usually some river or a water source somewhere budding up next to it and there's gold galore in the banks Like I got, I think around 120
Whew.
raw gold just from the new Badlands I found in my new region, out way out past Seatown. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's not even connected to my major kingdom via rail yet. But I was just sailing around the shores and just spotting gold and mining it and just getting it. I didn't have to go dig a mine yet, but I did, and it's already produced a lot.
Yeah, you
And
gotta love that gold that's just sitting out.
yeah, just plain sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, just look in the water. Go to the Badlands, look in the water if you need gold. If we're going to build a piglin farm, I'm going to need your help.
Yeah, that's gonna be a duo thing. Same with I've set up a creeper trap and a way. I built the apparatus. We just need to lure a creeper in and have a skeleton shoot at them. So I have that all set up. It's just to keep the monsters off your back, you need a partner. Like it's very
You,
difficult.
that's a pain too. Like for the music discs, right?
Yeah, for the music discs.
See, last night, right before I went to bed, I was out of my new world, and I just started fishing, and I'm going to try to get music disc that way because that trap seems so. Even with two people, like I don't know how,
Well,
like
like I
how
said,
people do it.
I was there. I got a skeleton. I put a name tag on him.
Do you want to explain to people what we're talking about in case
Yeah,
they don't know?
absolutely. And I might have mentioned this in a previous episode when I was on, but
I
yeah,
think you did.
basically you build with sticky pistons a little cell to put the skeleton in. Put a name tag on the skeleton so he doesn't despawn, and then a lever so you can open up the piston so he can shoot at the creeper directly in front of him. Then you set up what am I trying to think? A button on the ground that opens that activates 4 pistons. Once a creeper's on that, it can't jump, so the pistons just activate and it can't move.
Mm-hmm.
You have the skeleton. You stand behind the creeper, not too close. Skeleton shoots the creeper until it's dead, and then you get a music disc.
Yeah, I know it's achievable. Yeah, we need to just buckle down and do it. I know you have it already partially set up outside your city.
Yeah, it's ready to go. It's just it's hard to control the monsters coming at you at night when you're trying to set it all up. Like lure the creeper, then you got another creeper coming up behind you while you're trying to get that set up, getting the skeleton in place. It's just a pain. If I had another person, it would be easier just to run monster damage control and keep them off my back while I get it set up.
True.
Then once it's set up, but even then, with the skeleton in place, I'm still just anticipating getting 1 disc, just to play around with.
Yeah, I'd love to have a disc and a reason to make a jukebox because
Absolutely. And then I have that big art gallery as we previously discussed. And it would be nice to have, yeah, it'd be nice to have music playing in there while my citizens peruse the art.
I think, yeah, you definitely need music in that museum. That would just be the perfect setting.
Yeah, it would be too perfect. So maybe one day we'll get that done. So it's low on my list compared to other farms and different projects, but we'll get it done.
Yeah, I have a lot of farms I want to make too, and not just like new ones I haven't gone into, like mob farms like you have, but I now need to set up like 2 more cow farms, which I hate making cow farms for some reason.
Yeah, those just getting the cows in place. Once they're in place, you're good
and
to go.
Feeding them, breeding them, getting it up and running is to me just laborious.
It's laborious. It really is. Yeah, making them fall into place is such a pain. But once you get going, very much worth it.
And yeah, it is. It is. And it would, my kingdom's so spread out. For some reason, I'm so addicted to building rails that I have to build towns. Just because I don't want to be lonely out in these new parts of the world, and I want to civilize everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I've been building beyond my means, like just just I don't even label my rail system anymore. It's like I had it alphabetized, and now I'm just like building thrown up depots and just putting rail out. And
Yeah, your alphabet system gets a little tedious after a while.
yeah, it's pointless.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
it's
no
more
one,
confusing after a while than anything.
I mean, no one knows where that is. Like what it, like go meet me at Depot A.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more of an internal system for you, but still.
no, I don't even know it now. Like I don't even know it. Like I was just doing it for the sake of labeling it and having a system, but it's already been maxed out, and I gave up on it. Like
Yeah,
at
I don't
Depot
blame you.
Z, it's done.
I don't blame you, man.
Something I want to try to get into with Rails is I don't know. I would like to use the minecart with a chest. People use those for automated farms and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like,
I do have one of those for my redstone sugar cane farm.
really?
It
Really?
produces very low output though, so it's not really worth it unless you do have the Badlands thing and you have access to powered rails. But it's redstone activated pistons and an activator. It's been so long since I built it, but basically three pistons, uh, two at the same height. One is just one block above it, sort of in a
Huh.
three pattern. And when the sugarcane grows to its height, the pistons activate, hit the top of the sugarcane. The sugarcane falls through hoppers, lands into a minecart with a chest with two powered rails, so it's just bouncing back and forth.
uh,
And then that deposits. Well, that might deposit through the droppers. It's more complicated than what you get. Just grow sugarcane.
that's yeah. You don't even need redstone for a sugarcane farm or anything. But no, I get what you mean because I have bamboo and a sugarcane farm with observers hooked up and whatnot. Like it's way over
Oh,
the top for
see,
sugarcane.
and for what you get, it's well, and even with the bamboo, the scaffolding that they introduced is really cool, like really, really cool. But you need
Yeah, do you use
string.
scaffolding?
I have in a couple of places just to see what it was like, and it's really cool. It's easier than a ladder because it's just block platforms. You hold the jump button once you're because you can walk into these blocks.
Yeah,
Hold
we
the
just did. You don't know this yet, but I believe that was last week's episode.
oh okay,
Scaffolding. Yeah,
listen to
you
the
haven't heard
episode.
it because it hasn't been released while we're recording this, but our listeners know about scaffolding now.
Hey, awesome! Listen to that episode, folks.
But go ahead. No, I didn't realize that you use scaffolding because I mentioned in this last week's episode that I don't, but I have tons of bamboo.
Well, you need string. So,
And yeah, I have a
lucky for
mob
me,
farm.
yep, I have a mob farm. Which the mob farm that I took for my model from YouTube has you put carpet squares down in a certain pattern so you don't get spiders because spiders can climb and they can hold other mobs back from falling down the chute.
Oh, wow.
So I guess uh, double-edged sword. I do get spiders, and I have killed them, and I have a lot of string now. But at the same time, it's holding my mob farm back from producing as much as it should. So
Good to know. So I need to, when I build mine, I need to build a different design.
that I mean, that's what I'm curious to be what it would be, just because they can sort of gunk up the works. Maybe a larger chute for the monsters to fall down,
I
maybe.
bet so.
But that would just mean more cobblestone and a bigger platform and area. But that's totally doable. And eventually the spiders come down, and then you just kill them like you do the rest of the mobs, and they drop down into the chest. So I do have a lot of string, which is good, and especially good for what they're gonna introduce, hopefully soon.
Yes, and let's move on to that. The bundles. We're recording this in like a week everybody's speculating maybe next Thursday. We're recording this on Saturday, the 27th. And people are speculating that this upcoming maybe Wednesday or Thursday that bundles are released. So more likely you listeners right now have been playing with bundles. And I have too, future Greg, and maybe Sam has too, future Sam. But yeah, bundles, I am super excited, and I was doing a little bit of research on these things today. You tell us about your rabbit farm, because I don't have one yet. I have a rudimentary trap that you chase them into, but
yeah, absolutely. Well, and I have a leather worker villager that I was trying to trade with, and he takes rabbit pelts. So just
awesome.
for efficiency, even before I heard about these bundles, which I'm so excited for these bundles, man, they're going to be a game changer.
I so excited. Yeah, they
Especially
will. I think they take 6 rabbit hides and 2 string to make one bundle, and I think each bundle holds 6 slots, and you can 6 slots maybe. Somebody fact check that, listeners.
Yeah.
But I think it holds each bundle 6 slots, and you can put stack like just like your regular on-hand inventory, like a stack of cobblestone, for example, a 64 will fill 1 slot. 1 sword, since it's not stackable, will take up a slot, and eggs. I think you can have just 16, right?
Oh yeah, if you want to carry eggs.
If you want to carry eggs, or ender eyes, I think you can only have 12 or 16, something like that.
There's some weird stacks out there, but
weird stacks.
For what we do, having cobblestone and glass on hand, and only taking up 1 slot, but being able to have multiple stacks just from the bundle is going to save us so much time.
Oh my gosh, so much back and forth time.
Which is the worst part, is having to pause construction, go get more cobblestone or deep slate, come back, continue to build. So this is going to be a game changer. If and when it releases. When you told me about it, I got very excited. That's a game changer.
I guess this has been they first released this idea 4 years ago and teased the Minecraft community this way. So players have been waiting 4 years for this.
Put it on Bedrock.
Isn't that crazy?
Let's go, Mojang.
Yeah, get that out there. People are dying from anticipation. Like, I'm on Twitter every day, and people are just like, is today going to be the day that we get it? And they just wait for the announcement. I can't wait. Like you said, it's going to save so much time. And I don't know if you know this, but they can be nested. You can put a bundle in a bundle, and in a bundle. Like, yeah.
That's insane.
And in a bundle inside a bundle.
That's insane. But I was lucky that I had already set up a rabbit farm prior to hearing about this from you.
You are way in advance, and a mob farm.
So I have plenty of string. I have access to so many rabbit skins. It's such an easy. I wouldn't even call it a farm. It's just a pen, really. But you just build the walls high. Build it up off the ground a little, but build it high so they can't jump over it, because I don't know what the rabbit's block height for jumping is, but it's high. So build the walls high, have a ladder so you can climb in. Carrots. My villagers only grow carrots. So I'm lucky I can just run around the capital and just pick up as many carrots as I want. I already have too many stacks of carrots, which is good for trading with my master farmers. But yeah, just go in there, breed a bunch of rabbits. I can't stress enough, try and get a sword with a fire aspect enchantment, so you can cook the rabbits as you get the rabbit skins, and then just go to town.
Heck yeah, no, that's great advice, and that's a lot better rabbit farm than mine. Like, my proto rabbit farm is out in our out by Santa Fe in my world, your desert region, out by the outpost there. And I just dug a hole in the sand and a deep hole and put cacti, sorry, and at the bottom, and then I just chase rabbits into there and this through like a
Oh, nice. Do you have a
and they
hopper system?
no, see that's the you can't get them out.
Okay, that might be the way to go. I'd be interesting to see other rabbit farm builds that are a little more automated than mine or
Oh, I'm
yours.
sure that they have an entire like slaughterhouse. Like,
Oh yeah, but the cactus system, that's interesting to me, especially if you have hoppers underneath the cactus that can just drop it into a treasure chest for you.
that would work. I see. I just came up with it myself.
It's
I didn't.
smart. You have the bones of a great idea.
No, thanks. I
Yeah.
didn't go further than that. Um, it didn't really like. It's kind of hard to chase rabbits into it like naturally. I was trying to set up like a big. I built a wall kind of around it, so that way like it would guide them into this pitfall.
Oh yeah, sure.
But it was it's inefficient. You're better off doing it your way, pinning them up, breeding them, and then killing them.
Yeah. And honestly, mine could be set up better too with a hopper system. That way I don't have to manually pick them up or have them go into my inventory and I could just sort of stand on the edge.
Well, honestly, you
Um,
could do it probably. I'm sure like my chicken, my automatic chicken farm is
yeah,
set up.
that's true.
Get a
Yeah.
couple in a cube and
Yeah.
just breed a bunch of them. But see, that's a little different because chickens automatically lay eggs. But I'm still thinking like maybe like a cross between that and a cow farm, somehow.
Yeah, because the rabbits, like most of the passive like animal mobs, they stack on top of each other in a very small area.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Um,
stack like really small.
yeah, but
But yeah, I don't know. There has to be a way. We're speculating. I know there's probably a million videos out there online
oh
of
yeah, I'm sure if you do a little YouTube search, you can find a nice bedrock rabbit farm, and you can leash rabbits to get your
yeah,
initial seed rabbits. So
and
remember to
you can
carry
leash
a leash.
boats and take those through what portals even now, I think, and
Oh wow.
ride rails through portals was in the new update or like was a snapshot type thing or some sub
Interesting.
update that they just did and ride horses into the nether.
Interesting. Hey, that might be cool. I have skeletal horses in my capital now, so
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. You have like 3 of them.
yeah, three of them. They're just cool aesthetically.
No,
Um,
they are cool. Very aesthetic. I love how those look. I'm a little envious of you having those.
yeah, sometimes I'll just take it for a ride around the capital so the villagers remember.
So before we wrap up the show, we haven't talked about your Mushroom Island, and I kind of want to talk briefly about that and a little bit about the 1.21, some of the things in that. Just brief, but do you want to explain the Mushroom Island? And you just took me to that, and that was amazing because I love the Mushroom Island. It ties a lot into my first theory on Realm News.
That's right.
I was my first 2 episodes of this podcast is because of mushrooms, and that was my first Reddit post ever was over my Mushroom Island theory, and I'd never even seen one until the other day. Well, you have a small one, but that's like that's like an anomaly how small it is.
Yeah,
Um,
I have a weird one out in the tundra, which might be in one of our first discussions. So go back
it
and
is.
listen.
Yeah, go back to our very, very first discussion. We talk about his Mushroom Island out there in Lava Fall, where it's near his city, Lava Fall. But this one is a massive archipelago of just
Yep.
mushroom
Yeah.
and mycelium. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Lots of big brown tall mushrooms and the red tall mushrooms, which aesthetically are just really cool. It's all mycelium blocks, really close to my capital, but like I mentioned to you, you spend so much time in your front yard, you forget what's so close in your backyard. So Uh, it was nice to find this again. And so close to my capital that a rail will be nothing to get there. But I really want to build a village out there. I really wish they had a mushroom variant villager.
I think that would be cool. When
Oh,
you mentioned that the other day, I was like, that's a great idea.
that'd be so cool. And
They would look
it would just be a reskin, of course, but still, that would be really cool for me.
like have mushroom caps on their heads, like as
Yeah,
hats, like from Super Mario, whatever that little thing is.
exactly. Just have them grow mushrooms instead. Well, I don't know if you can grow mushrooms, but still, like,
Yeah, on
very cool.
farm. No, that would be interesting. Like have certain unique occupations.
That would be interesting. I understand how that would be tough for Mojang instead of just reskinning the villagers.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be super. Well, that'd be something altogether. But we're
yeah,
daydreaming here. Um,
daydreaming. But
um,
yeah, so I want to build a village out there. It's a huge island, archipelago, as you said, and I showed you it the other day. But it's got a cool little dock that's under a cave that leads out to the water.
yeah, that was
Um,
cool.
it's got some tall hills and stuff. So right now, I'm really just thinking one, getting the cobblestone, walling it off, and making it safe, which is just a time sink, but not too big of a deal. And then other than that, I'm thinking aesthetically, I probably want stone roofs and wood houses, I think, just for aesthetic purposes. Because
Nice,
it's a
nice.
mushroom island or mushroom island, so I want it to be aesthetically sort of woodsy and fit closer to what the environment is. Um, but it's great. It has multiple mushroom cows, which I'm just learned from you that I can breed. So I'm going to start distributing them throughout the kingdom, so I can
Yeah,
have.
that's your mascot.
That's my new and my new local dish is going to be mushroom stew.
I
Uh,
love that.
yeah, so cool. Um, And then something we discovered, or that I discovered and showed you, is that you can grow sugar cane on mycelium blocks. It's
That
naturally growing out there.
that blew my mind because, or maybe I just overlooked something in the research of episode 2, but I was certain that you couldn't grow anything on mycelium block except for mushrooms,
Yeah,
which just blows my mind. And on that island, there's a section of just regular dirt block that's not infected, but it's surrounded by mycelium block. I thought it was supposed to infest everything.
yeah, that was interesting too. There's just a few sections of just green grass and stuff.
Yeah, I have these pictures. Like, remember, I took some pictures.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
are all my Twitter accounts. If you want to go check that out, just type in Mushroom Island on my Realm News 24/7 feed, and you'll see it. But it blew my mind, and I never did get online after that and fact check myself. Maybe you can grow certain things on mycelium besides mushrooms. You know?
yeah. That's interesting. And I haven't taken I haven't taken a hoe out there to see if I could turn them into viable blocks for growing wheat or anything. But I might try that too.
Well, I need to listen to my episode 2 again because I can't remember if you can do that. I know I talk about it, but I can't remember that far back. That was
Yeah. All right. Yeah, listeners, get out there and listen to that episode again, and then
it's
remind
my
me that.
second episode, so please don't criticize me too much. I was very new to podcasting.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Keep the Dark Lord current, though. Hit him up on Reddit or on Twitter.
Yeah,
Um,
please. No,
but
I
yeah,
I can't wait to see what you do to this Mushroom Island. Like it's like one big island, but then it's kind of broken into a couple small ones off of it, right?
yeah, there's some murky water ponds that you get in the mycelium biome.
Yeah, I love that.
Um, that's really cool. Aesthetically, it's just perfect for building a village. There's like some flat plains and there's some hills, and it's going to be really cool. I just have to think full picture building the ghost village, so to speak, and then bringing out villagers so it's ready for them. But I want to set
Mhm.
it up to where it's very aesthetically cool from a distance, and then for traversing it. Then I got to move some dirt out there and hope it doesn't convert to mycelium so that my villagers can eat. Um, but yeah,
Maybe
it's
you
going to
can
be a cool build.
maybe you could build like an island not too far off and bridge that with like a stone bridge for the farmers to walk to, so that way it doesn't get infected.
That's what
Like
I was.
segregate it from the island.
That's what I was thinking as well. Other than that, I was thinking of just doing like raised beds, like occur in the natural villages, which look really cool, um, and things like that. I just want to stick with a wood aesthetic, I think, so it looks more natural. It's gonna be one of my. It's one of my newer. Well, it's gonna be one of the newer villages that I've built in a long time. So I want to take everything I've learned from my previous empire building and put it all together. And luckily, it's an island too, so it's surrounded by water. It'll be easy to keep mobs from spawning and stuff.
Well, mobs don't spawn on mycelium.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hostile mobs. Yeah, that's the plus about that. Your people in that world will be perfectly protected.
Okay, that's interesting. That's really good to know.
Honestly, I'm sure the drown pop up around the shores, right?
I still have to just do a lot of cobblestone and making the walls
Well,
around the island so it's safe, but that's
I'm
interesting.
curious to know if the drown come up on top of that night. You know what I mean?
I'll have to find out. I mean, now that you told me that, that'll make construction way easier just to be out all night.
That'd be cool if you could just have a wallless island. Could you imagine? Like the only wallless place in the world.
Well, villagers, they like to swim, so
Hi, they do. Well, hey, that's just a evolution at its finest.
yeah, I don't want to come up and have all of my.
That was something
Prairie
stupid.
flood.
That reminds me of something that I just experienced, but with sheep. Out of my new world, like it's a desert, right? But there was a little island off my new island town I created, which is a desert island, and it's just sand, and it's called Liminos. But there's a dirt block island right next to it, and it's pretty small, like maybe 10 by 10, right? Maybe even less than that, like 5 by 7.
Nice.
And so I got a couple sheep and I took them out there and bred like 6 on that island, but they just keep jumping in the water. And I was like,
You just have to pin them off. Like natural instinct is to roam the overworld, but
I thought they were, like smart enough not to just fall in the water or meander into the water. I was like, what are you doing?
I don't know what that is. That instinct is to hop in the water and swim away. But you've seen even in Farthia, I have some natural like lakes and watered areas for my villagers, and they'll just go stand on the very edge. They'll swim through it and stand on the very edge of the walls and stare out.
They want to cool off.
You have a giant landmass. Don't speak your language.
I can't wait. I guarantee you one day that they will smarten up the villagers, and I think that would be kind of nice. Like just program them to move out of your way, outdoors. Like.
Well, that's a problem for you.
I hate it, and make them path find better. Like I hate when they just run into a wall or like, you know what I mean? Like you can have 2 entrances sometimes on a house. And they will just go right into a wall and get aggravated because they can't go to sleep. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, walk 1 block over.
Well, I can understand. I am not even close to being even a novice at anything related to programming, but I can understand how, with the update of us being able to move villagers and breed them and start our own villages, how without building the buildings like to the specs that they require, the villagers require,
just random structures out nothing
can mess with their brains. And
AI, throwing some AI in that stuff.
They'll be doing even crazier stuff. But just from resource wise, sometimes we're building 2 blocks high and just enough for them to walk through and get to their beds because
Yeah,
building giant houses for each of them is just impractical for us.
very true. And
You know,
my newest colony, I'll call it, it's not even a village, it's 3 people in a mine in
yeah,
on on the island of Karth, as I call it, another desert island, but it's massive.
goodness.
And these poor guys are I ushered into a natural cave that I converted into a mine and sealed them off down there until I can get a village constructed on the surface because there's
Goodness.
husks everywhere.
Ugh, husks.
And there's this big deep cave right next to where I'm at, and there's witches and everything. Like,
Yeah, those are always fun.
it's super hostile out there. So that's on my to-do list is to secure that. I've been spending so much time out there. You need to come check it out.
Yeah, I definitely want to see your new addition to your kingdom for sure. It sounds really cool.
I'll be posting pictures on Twitter for you listeners out there.
Awesome. Check those out. But yeah, I'm excited for Mushroom Island Village.
I am too. I can't wait to see that. And listeners, I'm also going to be posting pictures of all that too, because I can't wait to see what you do with that island.
Yeah,
That's like the rarest biome.
that's what you said. And I'm lucky. Again, a double-edged sword. I'm lucky to have things like that and tundras, and lots of underwater temples, which can be a pain.
Yeah, you have it all, like
yeah,
close by.
And now that I finally found the Badlands, that was my my curse, is that the Badlands are so far away from everything I have. But with that new rail, hey,
Yeah, you're set, man. You're set.
Yes.
So quick before we get off and in this week's episode, have you had time to play with any of the new tough variants, wolf armor, trial chambers, the Omnis bottles, the copper? I know you don't have blaze rods, so that's a given. You're working your way into the nether, but do you plan on, if you haven't, do you plan on using any of this treasure trove of new stuff that they've added into the game? I mean, they've added so much. We don't have any time to list it all.
No. I anticipate doing that, especially with the tough. I have a fair amount of tough. I have access.
You need to get on that.
You get a lot of it, yeah. Especially
you need to get on it, bro.
Yeah, with the deep earth mine, you get it all. So I have a lot of tough that I need to play with. Maybe in this new village I'm making, but most of my resources went to the rail, and just for practicality, it's cobblestone, it's andesite, it's the diorite, it's anything I can mine out of the earth and just put together to make the track or make the layout for the tracks is what I use. But with this village, I want it to be more aesthetically pulled together, just because it's such a cool biome. And so I'll probably use some of those fancy tough blocks for that. I was thinking maybe sandstone too. That's
sandstone.
Really cool looking. I just have to play around and see what looks good on the mycelium biome and just see what looks good to me. But I'm thinking at the moment wood. I have access to some dark oak too, which might be cool to look at.
So you haven't really messed around with any of the 1.21 update features yet?
Unfortunately not. The trial chambers sound fun.
I want one of those too.
I don't know the logistics behind searching for one, but that would be really cool to play around with.
All I know is that they're underground. And what I've also ascertained, bro, is that they probably aren't going to generate anywhere close to what we've already discovered in our world. Like, you're going to have to go outside of that. And we've been playing in our worlds for a long time. So that's going to be,
it's going to be
it's going to be a while before we find one, unless we really just try.
Yeah. And that'll take a long time just to get to, but it'd be cool to find. The mace, I think I'm with Michael TBH. Listen to that episode, folks.
Yeah,
the mace is interesting. It's just for what it requires to build it, and then I don't know how or when I would use it outside of a trial chamber to kill mobs. I just don't I don't expect doing like jumping damage or jumping off of something to attack a mob. So I don't know if I'll ever play around with that, really.
I agree with you. I want one really bad just because I want to feel like Thor, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's the only reason. It's like almost to me like the wolf armor. I put it on 3 different wolves,
Cool.
but guess what? They're just still sitting there because they can't keep up with my rail system. My towns, my world's a bunch of water. I wish they would do something to fix it so that the dog could be, or the wolf could be just instantly there instead of trying to keep up. Just make it appear. You know what I mean?
I
Just
agree.
teleport it.
We had this same discussion. I finally discovered some allays at 2 of my villager out or
It's
pillager
so
outposts.
annoying.
I think I have probably access to like 7 allays, but I haven't broken them out
Wow.
of the cages just because same thing. If
Yeah,
I
they
get
can't
on my
keep up.
rail-
They're useless.
Yeah, if I get on my rail, because they're out clear out by the Badlands, and along that rail. So if I get them, you can't even make them stay there.
No.
So,
And
you know,
something that can fly should be able to keep up with you, like a rat, like the phantoms.
yeah, like go higher and be able to anticipate that I'm moving through this tunnel or through trees or something, but they just get stuck because you ran into this problem in your
Yeah,
world.
my legs are gone. They're like one's in the nether
Oh no.
and another one's somewhere. It's somewhere on a rail somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's stuck in a tunnel. I saw it out in your
Yeah,
Badlands, but yeah,
just
they
wave
just
hello to it as you pass by. Hi, hey, Lay.
cool to see you again.
Yeah, take care, buddy.
Yeah, right. They're a fun idea, but still. And then just for what they do, I could, like I mentioned to you, we were talking outside of the podcast. They'd be good for like collecting wood and cobblestones if you're not in a mine. Because again, if you go underground in a little tunnel, the chance for them getting stuck is really
Great.
high. Yeah. So, they're fun. They're a fun idea for, I think, specifically the wolves and the wolf armor, which I haven't played around with.
Yeah, great idea.
Great
Cool.
idea, but I think it's for when you're initially in a world. Then you
I guess so.
Throw the armor on it, and then it can help you in the overworld discover more.
But here's
once
my
you start expanding and you get settled, it's really pretty impractical.
And you really don't have to expand that far if you think about it. It really depends on your world setup. Like if you have a bunch of water, then you might as well say goodbye to that dog. Because if you're going to do exploring, which is pretty much most of this game, that dog's not going to keep up. Or that wolf. Sorry, I keep saying dog. That wolf is not going to keep up and it's gone.
True. I mean,
it's pointless.
Cool to have them in armor. It's cool aesthetically to come back to your home base from exploring.
Yeah, I loved it.
Have your little wolf companion there sitting by the door or by your bed. Same with the cats. The cats are a little more practical though because
cats are very practical.
They're not combat ready, but if they're following you, they'll sleep with you and they'll bring you something in the middle of the night. So
they serve.
Could be a spider's eye, but I like that.
No, I agree. They served their function. They were well designed. The rest of the other, like your personal animal, you just can't keep up. Like
Agreed.
Even the horse, I hate riding horses.
Agreed. And it would be nice, like we've also discussed outside of the pod, but be having a slight degree of command over these creatures, like telling an allay, here's cobblestone, take it to this chest,
like a waypoint, right?
Yeah, and then they just dump it in that chest and they just keep going. Or being able to assign villagers, like you mine, take it to this chest.
That would be, and I'm sure that'd be super hard for the developers to make happen. I'm sure that'd be like overwhelmingly difficult, and I understand that there's limitations, but what's the purpose of having a wolf that's supposed to be your companion if it can't even like be there 90% of the time? You know what I mean?
Can they ride in the boat? They can ride in the boats with you, so maybe that's an option for people.
Yeah, I guess I just need to give up the rails and
yeah,
start
that's
riding boats all the time again.
the thing for the way that we play, and wanting that sort of like automation, hop on a rail and just, you
But
know,
this is my thing. If you have something there, it should be able to go with you everywhere. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
agree.
also, you should be able to craft anything that's found, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
Um,
Which I'm sure Mojang has entire teams trying to figure this out or just playing around with it. Because
True.
we're not
I'm not
programming
bashing them.
golf. Oh,
I love the game, obviously, but
oh yeah.
yeah, I just saying, make it so the dog just teleports where you're going if you're on a rail. Like if it can't keep up, or same with the LA, just make it teleport there. Who cares? You know?
I agree, but I can see the other end of it where it's like most everything else works on whether you're in the area within a certain block radius, like things growing,
True.
villagers appearing, just for the sake of the game not becoming so slow. Because I can understand that if you're like if in our worlds, if you're 1,000 blocks away from your capital, how the game making your farms grow while you're gone
That would be amazing.
That'd be amazing, but that would slow the game down insane. Or you'd have to shrink the actual worlds so much in order to make that practical, because it would just be too much stuff running.
I get that. I get it.
So I think they're doing it in the most efficient way where you can still have the fun of like you drop into my kingdom and we can go do whatever. And the game's not trying to figure out like you're working perfectly from your Kindle to my Xbox. You're able to play in my world, and then also having all of my farms running automatically while I'm thousands of blocks away. It's generating that. Like I from a novice, not even a novice standpoint, I can understand how that's a difficult thing.
And yeah, I realize that.
A lot of online games, which I'm not a huge online gamer. I have friends that play a lot of these online games, and sometimes the servers just can't handle, even, and those are limited to like.
That happens on Minecraft servers.
Oh, certainly, but like, yeah, just the practicality of that, I can understand.
Very true, bro. And I wasn't trying to be too nitpicking. I just wish
we can wish and speculate and hope.
It was more just, I don't know. You know,
have our ideal list of how it could run better, and in a perfect world, like what we'd be able to get done through this game. But I could see the other side.
But it's an amazing game, even with its little, very small flaws. It's nothing to really even complain about. The dogs, like you said, I love that they're there when I get back home. It's a comforting feeling. Horses, they're nice to have in pins. It brings an aesthetic. I just don't ever ride them.
No, me either.
I love my rails though, and I will just continue building those and building colonies forever, I guess. I mean, that's
same. Just keep pushing it. See how far out we can go.
But with that said, bro, I that's all I have for today's show. Honestly, I pretty much covered everything I wanted to talk about today. I will want you to come back on the show again so we can discuss after the bundles come out, and after you get into the Nether, what your experience is like in the Nether, and after you get some blaze rods and whatnot, tell us all about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anytime, I'm always happy to come on and chat Minecraft with you. It's such a big game. There's always so much going on. We never really run out of things to talk about. So
yeah, and I'm excited to see the new art that you're going to be producing. The Wandering Trader was a huge hit. The fireworks art was a huge hit. Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that after the show and get some more ideas going about what I want you to make.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always down. It's a cool concept you created for the podcast, and it lends itself well to mixing those historical references with the world of Minecraft. It always creates that cool tension in the artwork. So
Yeah, I love it. I love your illustrations, and
thanks, bro.
we'll talk more about that on the next episode, bro.
Hey, sounds like a plan. Let me know when you want me back.
I will, and hopefully it'll be soon. And to you listeners out there, we will see you all next Thursday on another Realm News. With that said, the Dark Lord here is saying goodbye until next week. Sam, I'll see you then. I'll see you later, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just let me know, and good luck in the overworld out there, or in the Nether, or if you find yourself in the end, especially. Good luck.
See you all.